Hey friend, do you find it difficult to actually stick to your budget? I mean, you sit down, you make the time to fill out a budget, only to find yourself throwing that said budget out the window because you've overspent and you have no idea how to right the wrong. So what do? You go on with life as if that budget never existed and you try to wing it the rest of the pay cycle, hoping and praying that it doesn't affect anything important. Sound familiar? You can take a deep breath now because I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can budget better, preventing the just wing it and pray it doesn't affect anything important budget that we all sometimes fall into, right? So go cuddle up with a nice warm drink, get comfy with them babies, and open your heart to God as we settle into today's episode. Do you find it hard to save or get out of debt? Are you constantly searching for ways to save money and live on a budget? Do you have big dreams only to be stopped by not sticking to your budget? Are you ready for financial freedom? Then you, mama, are in the right place. Welcome to the One Income Family Podcast, where you will learn what it looks like to budget on one income, how to partner with God in your finances, how to budget in a way that's easy to stick to, and how to cut costs and save money, all so that you can start building wealth. It is my mission to equip you with these tools so that you can live in abundance regardless of the amount in your account. Hey, I'm Molly, a budget coach for stay-at-home moms, and I know what it's like to struggle on one income. I've lived paycheck to paycheck, relied on being frugal, and failed many budgets until I learned how to budget without tracking. This has allowed my family to pay off debt and build wealth all on one income. So, if you are ready for financial freedom, then go grab that stroller, plug in those headphones, and let's get to it. Are you sick of the inconsistency that comes with living paycheck to paycheck? I was you. We lived the dreaded paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. We paid bills first, which left us with inconsistent amounts each and every pay period to put towards everything else. It was hard to track. It was hard to save. Budgeting was a nightmare. It was almost impossible. That is what I don't want you to have to deal with any longer. It's time to get out of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle that you are living in. It's time to be able to start saving money and working with consistent amounts each time you go to budget, even if you have an inconsistent income. It's time to book a budget audit so you can achieve the financial peace that you, my friend, are looking for. And all you have to do is email me at mollybennell@gmail.com. That's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com with the subject line budget audit so that we can figure out the steps you need to take to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Again, email me at mollybennell@gmail.com with the subject line budget audit. So before we dive into my 3 ways to help you budget better, I want to touch on something that we've all thought multiple times, and we always think that it's the solution. And that is that the budget is the problem. And I want to share with you and maybe make you think a little bit about this, but I don't believe that the budget is the problem. Your problem is also not being able to stick to the budget. That's not your problem. Your problem here is that you expect yourself to be perfect, to follow your plan to a T, to not have life throw unexpected things at you. And I hate to break it to you, but you're not perfect. And life doesn't go the way we want it to. No matter how hard we plan or prep ahead or do anything in advance, life is still going to happen that we aren't ready for. So, instead of blaming your budget, work instead on your money management. A failed budget is nothing to be ashamed about. And the best part is that it will tell you so many things. So use that failed budget and become a detective. Use the analytics that you find so that you can fix the problems that your failed budget is telling you to work on. Maybe we need to find a different phrase than failed budget, but I just really wanted you to understand this. So now I'm going to get off my little soapbox there. But I really wanted you to understand that the problem isn't the budget, it's more the money management side of things and our expectations on how we are going to follow through and how the world is going to follow through on the things that we worked really hard on, which is our budget. And when our budget doesn't work, instead of looking at what we're doing or how we can maybe coincide or, work together with your budget, we just say, well, the budget's wrong and it didn't work, so now I need a new budget. It's totally the budget's fault. No, you may not have said that out loud, and you may not 100% be thinking, oh my goodness. So I kind of lost my thought process right there because my daughter just came in, the quietest she ever has, into my office and scared the living daylights out of me. So I kind of forgot where exactly I was going. But I think what I was trying to say is that our budget isn't at fault here. It's mostly our expectations and our actual money management habits and tricks that we are using, or maybe we don't have anything really in place, and that is okay. So I am not going to share with you today not how to make a better budget because, as I said, it's not the budget's fault. I want to instead share with you 3 money management tips that will stop your just wing it budget. And yes, this is still 3 ways to budget better. It's just a different way of saying it, okay? I want you to understand that I'm not changing it, but I'm just helping you shift your mindset around the fact that it's not the budget itself's fault. It is our money management skills that we need to work on. And so that is the 3 things that I'm going to teach you are 3 money management skills that you can put in place to create a better budget, to budget better, because you then have the tools and the resources to do it in a way that is going to positively affect your money and everything that you do with it. So the first thing that I want to share with you is to separate your money. That is the first money management tip I'm going to give you, is to separate your money. If you want to not have your overspending problems cause issues with your bills, with your family spending on things like gas and groceries and the things that you need on your necessities, you have to separate your money. I know that it was a common practice, and it still is a common practice, to have all of your money in one account. And when you budget, it's simply a plan of everything that you have to spend on in that one account. Well, instead of making it hard on yourself by making it easy to access all of your money in one location, separate your money out into more than one account. And I do this with my digital cash envelope system. This is something that I teach on, and I do have other episodes on. But it's important to have more than one account, because if you have at least these 3 accounts, if you have a bills account, then you're not going to be spending anything out of that account other than bills, and you won't have to worry about your bills being not paid, right? You will be able to pay your bills and everything that goes in that account, because you know that that's an account that is a no-no and you can't touch it. There's boundary number 1. Boundary number 2, by separating your money, you then can have a family spending account, which can hold things like your groceries and your gas, depending on how diligent you are and how good at sticking to your numbers you are, or the systems you have in place. Like maybe you buy your groceries first, that's what I do, and then whatever's left over you can use on family expenses like fun trips or going out to eat kind of thing. That is a great thing to do. But then there's another boundary in place. Your family spending will not be touched by your overspending habits, because you will have habits in place and you will have another account that will keep you from spending that important money. The next and third account that I suggest you having is a personal spending account. If you struggle with buying things no matter where it's from, if it's you going into the store, you're buying it online, or maybe it's food or something, if you have a personal spending account, you don't have to worry about it. You spend it as you want, and there's no budget on it. Maybe there is a budget. Maybe you're trying to save up for something. Great, but it's your money to do with as you please with no boundaries in place. Now, if you find something that you really want to get, again, you need to start saving for it with that money, then you do have to tell yourself not to use that money. But otherwise, that's up to you. It's what you want to do with it. It's the however percentage, I'm going to say like 1% of your budget that you can do with as you please without having to ask for your husband's advice on it, because it's your money, it's in your account. He'll have his own personal spending account. That is the money that you two can do with whatever you please without having to talk to each other. Otherwise, everything else you need to get together, you need to talk. And this is how you can have that safety net, that boundary in place to keep you from spending your money and then just going, well, I guess we're just gonna wing it and hope I don't do anything bad, like I can't pay for my bills or something like that. This is going to prevent that from happening. Okay, the second thing that I want you to do is start tracking your money. Yes, I know in the digital cash envelope system, I have a way that you don't have to track your finances. However, that doesn't mean that I don't suggest you track your finances, because when you track, that is how you're going to get the analytics that you need to be able to see how you are spending things, where you're spending things, why you're spending things. It's going to help you see what's actually going on in your money. Like, where did your money go? Why did it go in those places? Why did you overspend? Where did you overspend? Because a lot of the times in the places that we think we are overspending, that isn't actually what's happening. We may have budgeted ourselves a little bit of fun money, but that's where we think that we're overspending, because we shouldn't have that fun money, is what most people say in the finance world. We should be diligent and keep our head down and do everything that we need to stick to our budget and to essentially become a robot, right? And that's not what I want for you. The way that you are actually overspending is probably not how you think you are, and you're not going to learn why you're overspending, how you're overspending. You're not going to be able to identify what's actually happening in your budget so that you can make changes, so that you can shift things around. So yes, the digital cash envelope system is great. You don't have to budget or track your finances simply to stay on budget. Like, when you are out and about, you can look at your account and know how much money you have in that account and be able to spend it as you please. But that doesn't mean that there aren't things inside those budgets, unless you have every single category and account for every single category. You won't know where every single dollar goes. And so that is why you should be tracking your money, to be able to know where it's going, so then you can make calculated decisions on what to do moving forward. Okay, so then the third money management tip I want you to do is then take action. Once you've tracked your money and you've went through, I guess I kind of skipped a step there, but I spoke about it, is that, you then need to analyze what you've found in your money when you've tracked it. Figure out what's going on, is that analyze step. I kind of skipped through because it was mixed into that. But then you need to take action on what it is that you found. So say that you sat down and you looked at what you tracked, and you found that you have been overspending on the same thing every single week consistently for about, let's say, 2 months. And you're like, well, obviously, this is a need. This is something that then needs to be added to the budget. It shouldn't be something that we are considering overspending, because it's not something we're overspending on. It's something that is actually a need. Now, I don't want you to think that a need is having to get coffee every single day, right? That's not a need. There are ways to cut expenses on that if that's something that's a desire of yours, because if you want to buy coffee every single day, then find a way to make it work. But if it doesn't work, then that's not necessarily a need, and that should be put in your personal spending. But say what this thing is that you have been spending on every single week is, let's say, a snack. Let's say you either go someplace or you're finding yourself, maybe picking up one of your children from school, and you find that you are needing to get a snack every single day because that child is hungry when they are done with school. And then your other children, it's like snack time. So you need a snack for your children. And you haven't thought about this being an issue because it's something that maybe just started or something that wasn't really an issue and now it's becoming an issue. And you're like, okay, well, I see what the issue is. We are stopping at the gas station or going someplace else to get a snack for our children this time of day, every single day, because they are starving. Well, what can you do here? You can add a snack to your budget, your food budget, and then you buy snacks and you bring them with you in the car so that when you pick your child up, they have a snack ready for them. You have it there sitting in their seat or with you in a bag, however you want it to be, but you have it with you so you don't have to go to the gas station and get said snack. That is what I'm talking about. Those are the things that I want you to keep track of, and you need to see how it's affecting your budget and if it's something that maybe should be added to your food budget, to your actual budget. Maybe it's a category like getting your hair cut. Maybe that's something that you don't have in your budget, is to get your hair cut. And you're like, well, I need my hair cut because it's getting really scraggly and it needs to be trimmed. Then you need to make a part of your budget for that. You need to budget that in however often that you need to do it. I know I am notorious for hair cutting because my hair is long, so I only get it cut every 6 months to maybe a year. I'm not the greatest at getting my hair cut, but I don't do much with my hair, so it's pretty healthy and it stays pretty healthy. And so I never think about budgeting in haircuts, and I'm like, oh shoot, I need to cut my hair. Where's this money coming from? And so that is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, adding into your budget, making sure that you have the finances there for when you need it. Okay, the second action that maybe you need to take, maybe you're finding the stats that you're seeing is that you struggle with buying things online. Doesn't matter where, it could be Temu or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, could be Amazon, it could be like the actual store sites. It doesn't matter where it's from, but maybe that's an issue that you're coming up with, that you're seeing that there's just lots of expenses coming from online stores. Now, maybe this is something that you should say, okay, I see this is a problem. This is something that I like to do. Don't know why. Maybe I should dig into it. But maybe if it's something that I need to start cutting back on, simply add a little bit to like your personal spending and say, this is how much I can spend in this category. And what you're doing is then creating boundaries. It's letting you still buy that stuff if that's something you want to do. Now, do I suggest constantly buying things online? No, I think that there's probably something else going on that maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper into. But that doesn't mean I'm telling you to quit cold turkey. I'm telling you to put up boundaries in place so that you're still able to buy things, but you also know that it's not going to affect the rest of the budget. It is going to help you create habits and see if you have a bad habit that you need to fix and how you can possibly fix it. Now, sometimes it can be a struggle to see the bad habits, and it can be a struggle to know how to fix those bad habits. So that is where I suggest that you find help. Maybe it's your husband, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's you getting coaching from someone like me so that you can figure out, or somebody on the outside can help you see what is going on, because when you're in the midst of it, it's really hard to see the things because we are so emotionally attached to what it is whatever the thing is. Doesn't matter if it's finances, if it's our garden problems, if it's our homeschooling problems, if it's parenting problems. When you are in the thick of it, it's hard to see what is actually going on. And so that is why having outside counsel is going to help you create a solution and find a solution so much better and so much quicker than if you were to try to continue to muddle through the mud yourself. So those are the 3 things that I suggest you doing when you want to build a better budget, is simply separating your money. Do it in different accounts, because when you have actual physical separation, just like when people used to do the cash envelope system, this keeps you from spending money that you shouldn't. That's going to affect other parts of your life. The next thing I want you to do is track your money. Track what it is that you're doing, where your money is going, and then analyze it. Identify what is happening so that you can then take action on what it is that you found and create a solution so that you are budgeting better simply by putting boundaries in place and knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Those are the biggest things that are going to help you budget better, because you are going to know what's going on. When you know what's going on, things change. You're able to make a change in your steps in your life. And that is the key to budgeting better. It's not the budget itself. It's not saying that, oh, well, I'm not good at sticking to my budget, so I should not budget anymore. It's not blaming the budget. It's simply figuring out what it is that you're doing. Become a detective in your own finances. Why are you doing what you're doing? And then take action on what you found. Create a solution around your why, and everything is going to flow so much smoother. Maybe not easier, but smoother, because you're going to know what you need to actually do to make a change so that you can stick to your budget, so that you can create a budget that you want to follow, that you get super excited and hyped up about to do, because it then gives you the freedom to spend on the things that you actually want to buy. Like, that is so freeing, and it doesn't feel restricting. So if this is something that you struggle with yourself, if it's something that you would like to, figure out what your problems are, like by tracking your finances and really digging in, becoming that detective to find out what it is that's going on in your finances, to find out where your money went, and really being able to make a good, decisive decision, then go ahead and email me at mollybennell@gmail.com so that I can help you. This is something that I do. This is something I live for. I love finding problems and creating solutions around them. It hypes me up. And I know that you would love to be able to get out of this stuck rut that you are in, and to be able to fix your finances in a way that brings you joy and excitement. So if this, again, sounds like something that you would like to do, email me at mollybennell@gmail.com, and let's get the conversation started so that you can get your finances fixed today. And with that being said, I will see you right back here next week on another episode of the One Income Family Podcast. Before you go, I hope this episode has ignited a fire inside of you, and I pray that it creates long-lasting impact. Did you know that you too can impact other one-income families? All you have to do is leave a written review, and you help get the podcast in the hands of other mamas in need. You can also text this episode to that friend who is also knee-deep in the same kind of chaos as you, and inspire them to make a change. Also, your review lets me know that you're enjoying the show, and that lights me up. I get so excited to hear from you. Another great way that we can connect, though, is through the One Income Family community over on Facebook. So after you're done leaving that 5-star review, head on over to the community, where you will find other mamas working their way out of the chaos. You can ask your questions and connect with others who truly understand what you are going through. I cannot wait to connect with you in the community. Until then, I will see you right here next week on another episode of the One Income Family Podcast.